think the industry is going as a whole. There's people like you out there in your side of the industry who already understand the nuances of all the different sciences and what science or what portion of the data to utilize for that golfer for what they need at that time. I think the masses, or it's starting to get to the masses with all the data collection that we have due to technology over the last 10 years or even 15 years, that people are starting to understand, well, wait a minute, what we thought was science 10, 15 years ago, it is a science, but it's not a full spectrum. It doesn't apply to everybody. There's nuances. And why are these nuances there? Why can somebody like Luke Donald have 11,000 RPM when our physics say it should be 3 to 4,000? What are we missing here? So science is always going to go back because it's only based off what can be measured. It doesn't take into account the things. And like, obviously, and I don't beat up, I'm a big fan of his. I don't beat up on Scott Fawcett at all, but he's obviously a big numbers guy and he's a science guy. And I have a friend who's a mathematician. I think he has 2 master's degrees. He's a math teacher and he's a big science guy. And I say, and I know the answer to this. I always tell him, do you love your wife and your kids? And he says, of course I do. What kind of stupid question is that? I said, okay, how do you know? How do you quantify it? If you think everything is based off numbers and science, how do you quantify how much you love your wife and kids? And the point I was trying to make to him is there's certain things that we can't measure yet, or that the measurements don't understand the people who are doing the research. So just because it doesn't fit into that silo does not mean that what somebody's doing should not be looked at deeper, and maybe they're doing it a way that your science
Look,
hasn't
I mean,
figured out to do.